Hi there, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us. Well, we're tracking a couple of big systems around the country at the moment. High pressure is in charge for many areas, but we've got sinking low air pressure up to our north. So let's start in the tropics. So this is the wind map, but we've put on air pressure. So high pressure is in the white yellow area, low pressure up here in the purple colouring, and so you can clearly see there is a lot of low pressure around the tropics. It's getting very active up there. Got a couple of systems to watch, but the main one is actually just around the Fiji area, and the Fiji Met Service now saying there is a high chance of a cyclone forming there. Normal for this time of the year, but obviously any cyclone is worth monitoring, especially when the international computer models, whether they're from Europe or America, are suggesting this cyclone will drift down towards the New Zealand area. So it's far too early to say if it's going to actually make landfall, but even if it gets just close to us, we've seen ex-cyclones in the past which haven't affected our weather in New Zealand, but have caused deaths, and that's from drownings at beaches and very dangerous rips and large rogue waves. So we're going to keep you up to date, but obviously keep it balanced as well. So the main feature now though that we're focused on is a smaller area of low pressure down in the New Zealand area, and it's going to drift down into the Tasman and bring in a bit of wet weather. But at the moment, high pressure is dominating the country, at least for Thursday. Still a little bit windy in the north here with the easterly flow coming through, but beautiful and settled for many other places. Although I am hearing it's still a little bit cool in the mornings, it should start to warm up a bit more in the South Island over the next couple of days. Once we get to Friday, you can very clearly see this new low forming. This isn't a storm, this is just an area of subtropical low pressure. It's going to bring in some rain. Now the rain is mostly just to the west of the North Island, and with these winds blowing in from the northeast, we're going to end up with some patchy rain, but also dry spells as well across Friday. Mainly dry elsewhere, maybe a bit of drizzle around the east coast and a chance of some rain also around East Cape and Gisborne. Into the weekend now. Saturday is an interesting day. So we've got this area of tropical-like rain. It's heavy in places and then patchy, drizzly stuff elsewhere, brought in by a brisk to strong northeasterly wind. Now, it's very hard to tell, but if you look at Kaitaia and Auckland in this area, and the worst of the rain looks to be a little bit further west. So we can't rule out the fact that as the day goes on, we may end up with some sunny spells, or at least some dry spells forming around some of these eastern areas. It's a 50-50 chance of that. It's a very fine line between the rain itself and the drier weather just out to the east, and of course it's blowing in that way. But we will see some rain pushing down across the North Island, mostly dry in the South Island. There might be an isolated shower or two. Then we get to Sunday, and that's when we're more likely to see this rain moving in back across the North Island as the low pressure system drops down towards the South Island. Like I say, it's not a storm, but the rain could be quite heavy, so we will keep an eye on that just in case there's some localized problems as a result of that. And also the gusty northerlies coming down when at times with high tide. We're still getting some pretty high tides at the moment, so we might just get a little bit of coastal flooding, but we're not expecting it to be a major problem at this point in time. The rain goes all the way down to about Canterbury. Probably not going to see much getting south of that. And then we get into Monday, and that's where the rain might push a little bit further, or showers down around the Otago area. I think Southland stays mainly dry. We've got some showers or rain up around the ranges, and this slow-moving subtropical band of rain. And this is why you're seeing the chance of rain shifting around a little bit. Because it is a very narrow area of rain, it's only about the same width as the upper North Island. So if it just shifts a little bit east or west, that changes our forecast quite a bit. It's one of the hardest things that we as weather forecasters have to track. And in fact, one of my other clients at Country TV, we were talking about this to my boss the other day and he was just saying, you know, it's not like when you see a big high roll in and you can kind of predict what's happening, or a big southwesterly moving up with a cold front, which is also very predictable. This is kind of about as hard as it gets to forecast because you're not really sure exactly a couple of days out where it's going to lie. So it's one to keep an eye on. The rain is quite narrow. It'll be humid. That's something we're very sure of. So that's all from me for now. We'll keep you up to date about this potential cyclone. We'll probably put a news story up on Weather Watch about that today. That is all from me. We'll catch you again on Friday.